Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. So I'm reading today for Cancerian energy. So I'm not reading for a specific individual. Just a reminder that we're not just our sun sign, we're not just Cancer sun or I'm Libra sun, but we're also kind of like we have a moon sign, a Venus sign, a Mars sign, all this kind of stuff. We've got a full birth chart, 12 houses. All the planets move around those 12 houses, so we're affected by all the energies at different points in our lives. So if at this time Cancerian energy is relevant to you, you're resonating with it, you're vibing with it, this could be a reading. If not, go and check out some of your other placements and see what's going on in those signs. So I am getting a lot of collective messages at the moment, which is, when I say collective in my readings, what I'm talking about is like stuff that's affecting everybody. This, I want to say, is because of this shift, this dance that Pluto's doing between Aquarius and Capricorn. It's creating, I feel like, a big political shift, like a societal change is underway. And we're feeling kind of like the pull and tug of that. It's fine. Everything happens for a reason, guys. It's going to be okay. Yeah, some stuff is going to kind of like fall away as Pluto leaves Capricorn for the last time in this kind of like season. And then we're going to get like really into Aquarius season. We're going to see some big shifts, especially in technology. So Pluto's kind of dipped its toes into the Aquarian waters already. And we've seen this big like boost in people talking about AI and like computer generated images and this kind of thing. Very, very Aquarian. Age of Aquarius, guys. I don't know if that's the age of Aquarius, but this is what I see, like, because Pluto's such a slow, dramatic planet that has this big impact. When it's in a sign, it kind of affects the collective energy. So like I say, we've got this I have been getting collective messages and it's coming through as a bit of a warning. Not a warning so much as a heads up. You do have to make sure you're on a high vibrational frequency for whatever's happening next. So for example, if this is something like what happened a few years ago with the pandemic, the more healthy you are, the better your chances are of kind of like making it through. And the better your practices are, like your hygiene practices, the better, the higher chance you'd make it through. The more you kind of listened to practical advice and you took sensible precautions. So really it's that kind of thing about, if something's coming in that's going to affect us on a big scale like that did, you need to be smart. You need to be smart and you need to kind of like raise your chances. Now, I want to say this is something to do with like the fortune's wheel being here, luck and right timing. Now, before we continue, because I'm not here to scare anyone, I do want to really, 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 really reassure you that if you've been vibing high, being a good person, like the effect on you is going to be minimal. You do have like divine protection, a lot of you. For the most part, I would say, it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. It's just one of those things where it's kind of like, I just keep on getting rolling through energy. Now, Capricorn had the song, You Roll Like Thunder, when you come to town or something like that it was. And Scorpio had Chasing Thunder. And then you've got this like bull here. So it's kind of like, I had this energy in Gemini's reading of something rolling through. It's like it's going to roll through the collective, or it's going to kind of like, now, what's funny is I'm picking it up, and I know that Santaro had a collective message recently that was very, very similar, like this energy of like, the way she was seeing it, it was like somebody that who could be like a considerable distance from you, like time and space. So this could be like something that happened, like somebody that you used to know in the past, or someone like on the other side of the world to you. It's like and then this is Santaro's reading, so I'm not picking up on this exactly. I'm bringing it in as like additional information. So definitely go and watch that collective reading. It was like the one before Leo's reading. And it was like something's happening to someone, and it's having this kind of like this energetic rollout. It's like it's got the epicenter and then it kind of like rolls out, and I'm seeing that here as well with your cards. So I do feel like this is something collective, right? It's like something happens and there's this, it's like the epicenter of like where it happens, and then it's like rolling out energy. So for me as well, it was coming through this idea of like the eye of the storm. Like if you're in the eye of the storm, you're safe, right? It's like it's like that's the calm in the middle of the chaos is the way it's coming through for you in your reading. But it was like it's going to roll out, and it's going to like the way Santaro was seeing it, it's like this energy is going to kind of like brush past you, and it's almost going to be like a, you know, like when you get goosebumps or you feel like a dark cloud passes in front of the sun. So it feels ominous, but she was like reassuring. She was like, it's not. It feels scary and bad, right? It's like your first reaction is kind of like your hair stand up on end, or, you know, this is dangerous, but it's actually not. It's just the energy of what happened, kind of like flying past you, right? It's like you're not going to be affected by it, is the way she was saying it. And so I'm kind of seeing a similar thing happening in your reading here with these crows. So because it's like they come in here, right? And then it's like it's coming in, and then it's here. It's like coming face to face with the crow and being like, oh my god. But then it's like it goes past, it like carries on its journey, you know. It's like the flock of crows passing you by. So go and check out Santaro's reading, because I feel like, I mean, this happened before the pandemic. All the tarot readers start to get these weird messages that were kind of like something's coming in, right? It's like but it's going to be okay, right? I mean, it wasn't okay for a lot of it. It caused, I don't want to like lessen the impact that it had, because it had a huge impact, but it's kind of like, it's not the apocalypse kind of thing. It's like humanity is going to survive this, that kind of thing. So it's coming through this similar thing. But I want to say this crow, because it's the Tarot Della Nui. What I've been picking up on is this kind, it's been coming through as black, right? So it's kind of like Peter Pan's shadow, for example, or our own shadow, or our anima or animus, or like this ominous presence, right? It's like it's because you can see she's got all these like dark crow feathers and things around her. But it's the angel Della Nui. It's the angel of night. So it's like coming face to face with the angel of night. But her purpose here, because this thing about purpose has been coming through, is to give you the message that you're protected, right? She's not here to hurt you. She's an angel, right? She's an angel, but she's an angel that works with darkness. Like a messenger of, it's like a messenger of Pluto, right? She's like, I'm here to inform you that this thing is happening, but you are protected, you're safe, is the way it's going through. So it's strange, because there's a follow-on from Gemini's reading. I touched on it in Gemini's reading, and you seem to be having an extension of that. Okay, I'm going to put that message on the shelf for now until we get into your cards, but I'm getting a pinprick here as well. I don't know if there's something to do with, like, it's almost like Sleeping Beauty, right? Like she pricks her finger on the spinning wheel and then she falls asleep. It's like you're going to sleep through it. Who else had this? Libra. You've got some Libra in your reading. I don't know if you've got Libra placements in your chart. Are you dealing with a Libra? A bit of Capricorn as well. There seems to be this triangle. It's here in the middle of the reading, this triangle energy that I sometimes get between Capricorn, Cancer, and Libra. And you'd think Aries would be in there as well, because it's like polar, but it doesn't seem to be. It's like this, it's almost like this 90, what is it, 95 degrees? This, like, no, 90 degrees. It's like 90 degrees of separation between these 3 points, right, on the, but it's only half the map. God, this feels like something old coming back in again. Leo had something about triangulating a position, because it's like you might not know, you might not be able to contact somebody, but if you can get a 360 view around them, you can get a read of their energy, is the way it's coming through. Or like satellites, right? Like satellite positions. If you get a triangle, you can map something. Okay, I don't understand what that is fully, but that's the first time. Well, it's not the first time it's come in. I know I've had that before, this triangulation between Cancer, Capricorn, and Libra. Because it's like, what, like 3 degrees of separation from each other? Because it's, what is it, like Libra? It's like a clock. It's like a clock, right? Because, like, say Libra's at 9 o'clock. Is this like time zones? Libra's at 9 o'clock. I'm sorry, this is intuitively coming in as I'm doing the reading, so I'm just trying to figure it out as I go along, but bear with me because it's a big download. So Libra's at 9 o'clock, and then you have 10, 11, which would be Scorpio, Sagittarius, and then Capricorn's at 12 o'clock, right? And then you have but it's like that. So the way I'm seeing it is kind of like, you know, on a clock, sometimes you don't have all the numbers. You only have like 9 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and the others are just dashes. It's like they're grayed out or something. So it's like Libra, Scorpio, Sagittarius are not involved in this. Capricorn is at 12. And then who do we have next? Is this even right? Is this even... No, because you'd be at 6, right? You'd be at 6 o'clock. Because you're the opposite of Capricorn. So then you've got like half the zodiac and then Cancer down here at 6 o'clock. Libra at 9 o'clock. Capricorn at 12 o'clock. It could be like scheduling meetings. You know, at 12 o'clock I've got a meeting with Capricorn. At 9 o'clock I've got a meeting with Libra. Right, okay. But you see how it's like... But how is that a triangle? I mean, it is a triangle. If you draw on half the clock, it's like a... Is it an obtuse triangle? No, an obtuse angle. I don't know. Right, I'm gonna try and move on. I'm trying to move past it, but again, you've got like, this is almost looking like a clock to me, like clockwork. It's even got like it's even got a like a finger. What they called a finger on a clock. I don't know. Okay. Right, I really need to just shelve that for a second and go to your songs, because the messages that came through from songs are a little bit different. Maybe not. Maybe it's all connected. Maybe it's one of those situations where, you know, like things that don't feel like they're connected, somehow everything comes together in like one perfect moment. Make me think, this is my moment, this is my perfect moment with you. Right, so what you have, Cancer, the first thing that came in with you was Jessica Rabbit. You know the song, You Had Plenty Money 1922. So I do sometimes get this kind of like Marilyn Monroe in a sequin ball gown singing lounge songs for you. I don't know if one of you is a singer, maybe some kind of like jazz singer, but you're coming in with that like 1940s, 1920s vibe. Of kind of like, I don't know, you're coming in with kind of like stage siren energy. If you think Jessica Rabbit, right, she's got that sequin dress on, or if you think like Marilyn Monroe. I was also getting Roxy Hart from Chicago, which has come through a few times. So again, maybe some of you are you always get this all the time, like you work on the stage, you're kind of like or maybe this is just a dream, like you've got this dream of being like in a West End musical and like being, you know, like Roxy Hart. So maybe that's why I'm seeing Roxy Hart. It's kind of like you're dreaming of kind of like the big time. You're dreaming of like, because at the start of Chicago, she's watching, oh my God, and she's a Libra. There's something about Libra for you. What's her name? Catherine Zeta-Jones. I'm sure she's a Libra. So I wonder what star sign is Renee Zellweger. Aries? Is this where the Aries is coming in? So anyway, Renee Zellweger's character, Roxy Hart, she's kind of like watching, what's her name? I can't remember her name in the movie. But Catherine Zeta-Jones's character kind of like doing this show, and she's like dreaming that that's her. So it's coming through like you've got a dream of... I know your last reading had this thing of like watching someone wasting their life, like watching someone get overlooked for a promotion, especially to do with women and women aging, right? It's like, you know, she's past her peak, she's past her prime kind of thing. You know, she has so much potential, and it's coming through Cancer now as this is you. So whether it is you or it's somebody that you're dealing with, just flip it and reverse it. But you're coming through as Roxy Hart now. And it's kind of like, the way it's coming through, I feel for you, is that you chose a family over career. And maybe this was a long time ago, but you're coming through like Susie Homemaker, right? You're coming through as very, very attached to the home and like dreaming of having this glamorous life. So I want to say maybe you put your career on hold to have children, and maybe like you did miss out on opportunities for that because you've got sacrifice here. It's like you sacrifice your career to raise your children, but you're feeling, you feel like you're kind of trapped at home. Either you're trapped in the home, again, like the pandemic, maybe this is something that occurred to you during the pandemic, or maybe you felt like you couldn't... Again, if this is a situation where it's like, because the song is "Get out of here, make me some money too," right? So it's like you're saying to your husband, get out, go and earn me some money, right? Go, we've got to, because you're coming with the Queen of Pentacles. So here's this Capricorn energy. It's like I'm prioritizing material things. I'm prioritizing paying the mortgage. I'm prioritizing, having enough money to feed the children and pay the bills. So it's got this real practical. It's like, okay, I got pregnant. We're getting married. That's the right thing to do. We're gonna get a house together because that's how it's done. Um, you carry on working. You go out and earn the money. I'm going to stay at home and raise the kids because it feels like the sensible thing to do, or it's like that's how it's done, right? This is what people do. The woman puts her career on hold and, sacrifices her potential so that she can be a mother and raise the children, right? It's a tale as old as time. And it doesn't have to be that that's everybody's story. Some people will choose the opposite. Some people will choose career over family. So again, you feel like the flip side of Gemini. I don't know if you've got Gemini placements. And again, this doesn't have to be your personal story, but it's the way Cancerian energy is coming into play in this set of readings. So where Gemini was almost the party animal, they were like, I'm out partying all the time and I'm taking it to extremes. And all I want to do is either go back home to my mum, right? And crawl into bed, or like Gemini wanted to settle down. So Gemini was coming through almost like Harley Quinn, like in the Harley Quinn film where she's dreaming of this kind of normal family life with the Joker and she's like raising a baby and she's got like the cute little kitchen and it's like it's all cozy and nice and happy, but it's a dream, right? It's not her reality. Her reality is this world of chaos. So if Gemini's coming in like that Harley Quinn dreaming of a nice home life, you're almost the flip side. You feel like you've got the home life, but you feel trapped and you're like, again, like Roxy Hart, it's kind of like you're looking at this glamorous like supermodel or singer, or you could just be like people in general. It's like, oh, I wish that I was that. I wish I'd followed my dreams of being like a West End actress. I wish I'd followed my dreams of being a singer. So you're the flip side of Gemini is the way it's coming through. But then you've got this husband character coming in. And again, I don't know who you are in this reading. I'm just going to tell you what I'm getting. But then there's this husband, and it's from the point of view of the wife, right? The point of view that I'm being shown is the wife. But like, it's like there's something sexy about you. It's like you are Jessica Rabbit, right? But this is in the home, so it could be like, some guys, they like a girlfriend to kind of like dress up for them, but they won't let them out of the house like that. It's like in the bedroom, you can be Jessica Rabbit. You can put on that sparkly, sexy dress, but don't you dare get seen in public like that. It's like, that's for me. So it could be that there's something like that going on. I don't like that. Again, every relationship's different. It's not for us. It's not for anyone to tell anyone else how to have a relationship or what the rules of that relationship are. But I want to say there's something going on where maybe the rules are changing for you. Maybe something's not quite right here. Because you've got this kind of like, and it's like maybe you put on the sexy lingerie, maybe you put on a performance in the home for your partner, but this, and you've got that in you. It's kind of like when I dance in front of the mirror. I love to sexy dance in front of the mirror. It's like I'm brushing my teeth and a bop comes on and I'm kind of like, shake my ass, like dancing to myself all sexy in the mirror. But so it could be something like that. It's like you've got this superstar potential, but it's in the home, right? And yeah, and it's because of like responsibilities. So if this is like a really traditional role, it's like you're in the home raising the kids, kind of doing the shopping, preparing the meals, doing the home stuff, and it's like your husband's the money maker. But I feel pressure from you to be like, because it's that song, get out of here, make me some money too. It's like, this isn't good enough. We're not keeping, especially when only one parent is working. It's like you're not really keeping up with the Kardashians, right? Because there's a lot of social pressure in our society to not have those traditional kind of like 1950s roles, but to have both parents are out working, right? You send your kids to nursery, both parents work full time, you have the nice holidays, right? That's kind of like the standard of what's expected, I think, in our very, very money-based society. So there's kind of traditional values of like Susie Homemaker aren't really it's not the norm, I'd say. And sometimes it's the case of like the wife works part-time, but if you're working part-time, you might be seeing people who are working full-time getting promoted over you, right? It's like you're not getting the promotions because you're working part-time, that kind of thing, because you're only putting in 50% of the time, so you're getting 50% of the rewards, that sort of thing. So I want to say, I mean, again, it depends. Like different workplaces have different policies, but just as a sweeping generalization, like that is where a lot of women find themselves. And because Cancer, you rule the home, you rule the home life. I think that's why it's coming through in this reading, even if it's not your personal, as an individual viewer, it's not your situation. That's why it's coming through like this. But again, hang on, because there's something going on in the cards that may be more applicable. Yeah, get out and make me some money too. So it's almost like work harder. He's saying to the husband, no, we need, like, you know, we've not got as much money coming in as like Sandra down the road. Like our garden doesn't look as good as Nigel's across the road. It's like, get out of here, earn more money, like work harder, get those promotions. So because you're not doing, it's like you're putting pressure on the husband to earn more money is the way it's coming through. Again, flip it in reverse. It's not going to be everybody's situation. But then it's almost like as a consequence of that, the way I'm seeing it, the way it's coming through intuitively, is like the husband's out networking, right? It's like, all right, I've got to get the promotion. So that means I'm going to have to go to this work event. You know, I'm going to, you know, if the lads like the lads from the office that invite me out, I'm going to have to go with them because I need to, you know, get pally with them so that we can work better as a team and so I can get the promotions. It's kind of like, okay, but it's kind of like almost like, you know, like in Japan, like the men have that kind of, I don't know if this is true, but you see it in movies, right? It's like, you know, the Japanese businessmen are coming over. Let's take them to the karaoke bar. Let's take them for a nice meal. It's like there's a social aspect. Like there's the charm and a schmooze aspect of like, of business, right? It's like, I need to go to the club to pull up. Like, listen, the workplace is promoting this thing at this club. I've got to go on this work trip so I can go and promote this thing at this club. But then it's like your husband's off clubbing then, right? And it's like, well, what's he doing while he's off clubbing? Because yeah, sure, he's working, but he's also socializing, and he's maybe hanging out with supermodels and posting pictures of supermodels, like, and influencers and celebrities. And you kind of like, he's hanging out with all these like fit young women who haven't had children, don't have stretch marks, and you know, like they're just unattached and fun. And I'm here with the kids, like, you know, wondering when he's going to get home, like wondering if he's going to text, like it's 12 o'clock, I'm looking at my phone and he's not answering his text messages, so where is he, right? So it's got this real paranoia setting in. It's like, you told him to do this, is the way it's coming through, but he's out there clubbing and you're like, but is he cheating on me? Obviously he's cheating on me. He's hanging out with these really hot models. Like, obviously, like he's only a man. Like, I don't know. It's like the paranoia sets in, and I'm not saying he is doing, but because of the next song, it feels like you think it feels like you've got evidence. So again, I'm not here to say, hey, you individual Cancerian person watching this, your husband's cheating on you. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that if this is resonating for you and if there's some paranoia, if this is your reading, you've already got evidence, because the next song is Sleeptalking by Charlotte Lawrence. You've been talking in your sleep. Now, I wouldn't take Sleeptalking as like, I wouldn't take that as evidence, because I've had some very, very kinky dreams about people that I would not touch. Like, they disgust me. I would not touch them with a barge pole. But for some reason, my brain's like, wouldn't it be funny if we pranked Libra and like gave her this dream where she's like hooking up with this really gross person that she really hates? Like, wouldn't that be funny? And I wake up and I'm like traumatized. So like, just because someone's having a dream, right, doesn't mean that they're cheating on you or even that they want to. It's just that the brain has decided that that's the story tonight. You know, it doesn't mean anything, right? Don't take that as evidence. But in that song, she says, texting girls behind my back and acting like I don't, but I already know. And now this is coming in with a mental health check-in, basically, Cancer. If this is resonating with you, and I know this happened recently with a friend where they broke up with the partner because the partner had been flirty texting with somebody else, and they had Cancerian placements. And I was like talking to him, I was like, that's your Cancerian placements talking, mate. Like, that might not even be the reality of the situation. Like, let me see the text, because I'll be able to tell you what's going on with that, right? As a woman, I can tell you, kind of like, I can read into it, you know, with a because the person that I was talking to, I'm like, bless them, I love them so much, and I don't mean to air the dirty laundry in public, because I'm being very, very cautious about like not giving the game away with who this is. But they and again, they're not a Cancerian, but I know they've got Cancer in the chart. So it's like Cancerian paranoia of like my stability, my home life, my family matters so much to me that anything that threatens it, I need to attack. I need to attack any kind of threat. You know, it's like attack is the best form of defense. And it's like it may not be warranted. Like this is how the Cancerian chaos mode activated, especially even like Mars in Cancerian placements as well, like very protective over the nest. So anything that's perceived as a threat, it's kind of like you go into attack mode, and it's not always warranted. I know, like, because I know people with Cancerian placements, and I know that it's normally paranoia, but feels so real. It's like these thoughts, like this thing that I've imagined, it seems so real, but I want to say it could be a projection. Like, look, it's like a projection. It's a mirror. Like, it's not really, you're not really seeing this person. You're seeing a projection of you reflected back at them. So it's like your own fears reflected back at you. So yes, okay, your husband might be texting girls behind your back and hiding it from you, but what is actually going on? Is this girl's from, because what I feel could be happening is like, and again, I'm not excusing somebody if they are cheating. It's like, you know, I'm gonna get into it, right? I'm gonna get into it. But the situation I'm seeing for some of you is that the husband knows that you fucking freak out and get in your own head and you get paranoid. So he needs to text people from work, and he knows that if you see it, you're going to get paranoid about it and give them a hard time. So they're hiding the fact that they're texting these people from work, and it's completely platonic because they don't want you going like, oh, why are you texting that person? Why are you giving why are you giving her a carpool? Why are you giving her a carpool? What's going on? Why are you 5 minutes late? What were you doing with her in the car? Like, do you know, it's like you've got them on fucking Google Maps, like watching the car, and you're like, wait, I saw you stop at that Asda, and it's opposite her motel. Like, what are you doing? You were there for 10 minutes. What were you doing? Did you get a hotel room? It's kind of like your paranoia. And again, I'm not saying this for every single Cancerian. I'm reading energy, not personal stories. So take it as it resonates. So just be careful if this is resonating, that you're not freaking out over something that's not really a thing. Like, have you seen literal text? And this is the thing as well. Like, I'm really, maybe it's a Libra. I'm really flirty. My baseline conversation is flirting. But for me, my baseline flirty conversation is me being friendly. It's not a come on. So like, I've got friends where I can be really crude with them and I can say all sorts of kind of like flirty stuff, but we know that it's a joke. I mean, it's just banter, right? It's not really, there's nothing going on there, but like, it looks bad, you know, like taken out of context, it looks really bad. But you know, it's kind of like gay friends as well. Like you know, you can get really saucy, and it's because you know, and like, and girlfriends as well, like you know that you can have that funny banter with people. But again, like, just but it says as well, it says acting like I don't, but I already know. So you're acting like everything's fine. Like, everything's fine, but I know something's going on. So it's like, it's a bit psychopathic. I think you're stressing me out, Cancer. I would say though, if you know your husband's cheating on you, if you're coming to this reading and you're like, no, I know it, like, I've got the evidence, my fucking heart dropped, like, I know this is true. Or even if you're just so paranoid and there's no trust there, it's like, you know this is done, right? Because you can't, I've made the note, and there needs to be trust, and that trust needs to be earned. So even this is a situation where, you know, they're not cheating on you, but you don't trust them, that's toxic. It's not a healthy relationship. You need to do something about that, right? So whether it's like you end the relationship because you and that person, you're not vibing on the same level, or maybe you need to go to couples therapy. I don't know, right? I don't know your personal situation. Do what you need to do. The next song, really, again, just confirming what the vibe that I'm picking up on, is Happy by Leon Lewis. I could stand by the side and watch life pass me by, so unhappy but safe as could be. Again, it's like, I chose the Golden Palace. I chose this life of like being the wife in my security, in my house where I feel safe, but life is passing me by. Like, my career's passing me by. Take it as it resonates. Then the song Give It To Me by Timbaland, Nelly Furtado and Justin Timberlake, which was giving me like husbands in the club, right? I'm a supermodel, see mommy. So again, take it as it resonates, leave it if it doesn't. What if I wrote down there? I don't know. It's got like this grass is greener energy, you know, like Roxy Hart watching the other woman on the stage. It's kind of like, and with Gemini as well, it's like this flip side energy. It's like you're never happy with what you've got, right? The grass is always greener on the other side. Like Gemini's in the club wishing they were at home. You're at home wishing you were in the club is the way it's coming through. I don't know. So the next song that came through is More by Halsey, which starts with the line, "They told me nothing grows when a house ain't a home." It's like there's no love, right? If there's no love in the relationship, if there's no love in the household, you don't put in as much effort. So it's like, you know, like things are falling apart. I don't know, it's like the foundations are going, something like that, just with what I'm seeing there. Because the energy is not being put into the home, right? The energy is being put in perhaps into a workplace, into going out clubbing, maybe on your husband's side, and you're like, well, you know, are you going to come home? Are you going to do these repairs? Or are we just going to let the whole thing fall down? And we're just going to let a tower moment happen? It's the way that that's coming through. She says, "I sit and stare at your clothes in the drawer. I cry and my knuckles get sore." So again, I feel like this is definitely something where you're missing somebody that should be in the home, right? I'm getting that energy of like when your partner goes out and they're like, "I'm just going to go out for 2 drinks, right? I'll be back by 8." And then 8 o'clock rolls around and they've not texted you. And you're like, well, you think, well, I don't want to be obsessive. I don't want to be weird about this. So I'm going to give them till like 8:30, 9. And, you know, I'll give them till 8:30 and I'll say, "Hey, dinner's ready. Where are you?" And it's like, they don't answer. And then they ring you back. And then you ring them at 9. And you're like, "Where are you?" And it's like, "Oh, I'm still in the car. Sorry." Like, excuse. I'll be back. I'll be back soon. I'm leaving now. I'm back soon. And it's like midnight and they're not answering the phone. And you're like, well, paint a clown mask on myself, why don't I? It's like, of course. And this is the thing as well, it's like, and it's so easily done. I know, because I've done it, where it's like I've been out and I kind of like lose track of time, or you know, you don't hear your phone ringing because it's in your purse, and you kind of like, "Oh, sorry, yeah, no, I'm sorry." It's so easily done. It's so easy, especially when you're drinking, right? And it's like you're getting wrapped up in what's going on, so it's so easily done. But if this is happening and it's occurring all the time, and you sit there and you're like, it's happened again, like, you know, they're making a fool out of me. I feel like they don't respect me. I feel like they don't care about my feelings or my needs. Like, I'm just sat here with a cold dinner wondering where they are and they're not answering the phone. Like, that's so disrespectful to me. It's like if they respected me, they'd just send me a text and be like, "Sorry, got wrapped up in it. I'm going to be out for a while. Like, just let me know you're safe." You know, that kind of thing. I don't know. I'm pissed off on your behalf. So yeah, trust needs to be earned. And if they're treating you like that, then it's, you know, you're not to blame for not trusting them if they're not being trustworthy, right? I don't know. It was making me think as well of that song "Don't Ya" by Pussycat Dolls. She doesn't want to share. So I almost feel like it could be the case where the husband is spending time with somebody, perhaps a colleague, that they're attracted to. But I feel like the other woman's kind of saying, "Well, no, you're in a relationship, maybe next lifetime." I feel like maybe that could be happening. Again, don't want to feed into anyone's paranoia, but that's actually a good sign, because it's saying, I'm respecting your wife. She doesn't want to share, right? Maybe if your wife was into a threesome, I'd be all up for it. Your wife, she's going to be bothered about this, so we're going to have to like veto the whole plan. Like, she doesn't want to share. She's giving me vibes. She's giving me the evil across the room. I guess this isn't gonna happen. I don't know, right? I don't know. It's the songs. I'm getting "Breathe Through It," and I'm getting, with this blade, I was getting confirmed suspicion. So again, I don't know if you are suspicious, it's like you need evidence, but then some of you might get the evidence, some of you won't. Again, depends on your full chart. It's not going to be the same story for everybody. Don't panic. Breathe through it is the note. I've got "The Best Place in the World." So this card, the corn, here at the start of the reading with the corn. Again, it's got that, the grass is always greener. So the song's beautifully unconventional, but by Wolf Alice. And she's from the best place in the world. It's the best place in the world. So it's like looking at this other person and being like, I want their life. They're from the best place in the world. Don't remember that Instagram is the Insta lie. You know, people don't show the bullshit. They only show the good stuff. So again, Golden Palace is often a lie. It's like, I don't know if you're spending a lot of time dreaming about somewhere else that you could be, because the place that you're in is shit. And it's like, instead of wasting that energy dreaming about a different life, put the energy into making your shit place better, even if you have to do that on your own. I don't know. A wasted potential, Harley Quinn, all that stuff. So you were coming through, if Gemini was coming through like Harley Quinn, like she's the girl in the club, she's like dreaming of having a house of white picket fence, 2.5 children, like she's dreaming of having your life, right? This Harley Quinn character. You're coming through like the woman from Glow. So if you've seen the TV show Glow, she's like the qualified lead actress. She's like the woman in the whole crew that's kind of like got credentials. She's the superstar of the show, but she's just had a baby and she's given up her career and she's like chose to have this home life. This is exactly the character that I'm getting for you. And she's like, but she's put her dreams on hold, and then her husband's fucking cheating on her with a best friend. So she ends up going back to work, right? She ends up taking this like lead part in this wrestling show. So I'm seeing that like you're the superstar, but you're the superstar in the home, where the superstar's dreaming of having your life. Again, it could be like the other woman kind of energy, you know. It's coming through very grassy Serena. Right, I'm just going to pause and have some water and then we'll get into it. Hold on. Okay, so Fortune's wheel, luck and right timing. It's like the wheel is turning here. Like the people that are up are going to have a fall is the way it's coming through. So here's the fall happening, which was crazy to me when this came out because it's exactly what I was seeing. In Gemini's reading, it's like the visual that I was trying to create for Gemini. So I had this dream where I was, I'm not going to go into it too much because I talked about it extensively and described it with too many words in Gemini's reading, because that's what my Gemini moon does for me. But I had this dream where so if you've ever seen how canals work or you've been on a canal boat, you come to locks and it's like the water level is on different levels. And in order to go up that step, you have to go into the lock, which is like the water will be at this low level and it'll have high walls at the side. And then you kind of like put the boat in and you kind of lock that gate and open the other gate or the lock. And the water starts to come in on this side. And the water level rises within this. It's kind of like a room, right? And like you've got walls at the side and the water level rises until you're at the top of the canal, like the edges, and then you can open the gate and kind of go through on that new water level. So it was talking to me, this dream, about consciousness, like consciousness rising and energy rising and kind of like raising your vibration so that the baseline is higher, which is a concept I got from Santaro, actually, this idea of like raising the baseline. I just want to say that's not my idea, but it describes perfectly what I was seeing with the dream that was my personal dream and my personal psychic message. But it's kind of like that makes sense, like those two things, I can put them together and it makes sense. So but in this dream the water rose too high. It came out of the sides almost like jelly or a cake rising, right? Like the water went up past the edges of this past the edges of the canal, and it rose about 2 to 3 stories high before it all kind of like caved, and I fell through this pillar of water all the way back down to the bottom of the lock kind of thing. And so this was me, but there was another person in the dream and we were both falling, and I managed to write myself. You see how one's higher and one's lower? So when this happened, when it's like a tower moment, when the tower moment happened, I think because my vibration was a little bit higher, I was able to kind of like right myself and swim back up to the surface. And I had just enough time, because you know when your lungs are, have you ever had that when you're in the pool and you swim under the surface for as long as you can, but then your lungs start to burn and you're like, the instinct to take a breath is so strong, but you can't take a breath because you're underwater, so your lungs are burning as you're trying to desperately get to the surface, and then you break through the surface and you take that deep breath. So that's what was happening in the dream. I had like milliseconds, like just enough time to with my lungs burning, to get back out and take that breath, you know, in the fresh clean air. And I was looking around and I couldn't see the other person. And what I think has happened, especially because of this card, is they weren't like my, so the vibration that the frequency that you're vibing on is talking about maybe your capacity to handle your emotions and not get overwhelmed by them. Maybe it's your capacity to get yourself back on your feet when a tower moment happens. Maybe it's your capacity, maybe it's your health, right? You know, if you you know, two people could get the same virus, and if one has not taken care of the health and they've got a lot of kind of self-inflicted health issues, they might not like survive. Where if you're particularly healthy, you've got a good lung capacity, all that good stuff, your chance of fighting off that disease is higher. So it could come through in a lot of different ways. When I talk about like your vibration level, your frequency, I want to say it's a full package type situation. So I was on the line. I was on like, it was very like hit or miss for me. I only just made it, but this other person didn't, right? Because their frequency, because their baseline vibration was slightly lower. So it is talking about people who perhaps are on top taking a fall, and not everybody is going to make it out the other side, is the way it's coming through. I want to say you do, because you have the protective bubble that Gemini has. So, and I'm not here to kind of scare everybody. What it could be something collectively that rolls through, like how like we had like the lockdown, right? It's something that rolled through society. It could be talking about an energy, like something the planets are doing that affects everybody emotionally, and not, you know, everybody's hitting rock bottom, and not everybody's going to be able to pick themselves back up from that because it's such an emotional wound, right? I want to say Cancer, you're quite good at recovering emotionally, because I feel like you hit emotional rock bottoms often throughout your life. And it's that thing of like falling off a bicycle. So you're used to emotionally kind of like repairing and emotionally picking yourself back up. I feel like you're good at doing that. So again, this is a strength for you. So yeah, the look and right timing with the corn and the blade. What is this? It's like this, right? Can you see this? The blade has this orb on it, and there's this orb here which seems to be the look and the right timing. It's like coming in to the corn. So the corn and these like it's something about something coming into alignment. Right, the corn represents to me, normally I say it's the most wonderful thing that you can think of because of the corn song, right? The meme. It's like this little kid who just loves corn, and he's saying all this good stuff about corn. So it's like the corn is whatever you, as an individual person watching this, whatever you consider to be the best thing in the world, right? But it came through that Wolf Alice song, the best place in the world. So when you think of the best place in the world, what do you see? That's what the corn's representing. And so there's this thing about something coming into alignment. It's like the perfect timing. So I'm going to bring in my own personal reading now, because I had this whole thing about it was in the underlying. It was like all the cards were lined up, and there was this thread that ran through from point A to, I want to say, me. And it's kind of like it was this energy that went through the eye of the needle, and it had this card that said focus. And it was so funny because I had actually been using needle and thread that day, and I was really struggling to, it took me a few tries to kind of like get the thread through the head of the needle, because it was like, you know, when it's like a small needle head and you have to really like it's really hard to do, but I finally got it through. But all my focus and all my intention at that moment was trying to get this thread through the eye of the needle. It's like everything kind of like my whole world, the whole universe just entirely focused on that one tiny spot. So it was funny that it came through my underlying, and it was this thread that kind of like ran through from like this side of the reading to this side of the reading. It's like this perfect alignment between two energies. And so it was like, and again, it could be talking about poles, right? Like north node, south node kind of thing. Especially because it's like the way it's kind of like, definitely feels like timing, right? Because it says look and right timing, and then it has these moon phases, and it's almost looking like, and then you've got like Stonehenge here, right? It's like the light has to line up and come through. Can you see? Because the light is like starting to come here. So it was talking in my reading like maybe of like an eclipse, you know, like when the sun and moon create an eclipse. But it's kind of like this idea of like, the way I described it to my kid, and it's funny it's come out in your reading, I was like, it's like a bullseye. This idea of like threading this energy through the eye of the needle. It's like having a dart and trying to like being hyper focused on trying to hit the bullseye. And it's funny because you've got the ball, right? So it's like you're going to hit the nail on the head is the way it's coming through for you. So yeah, it's like almost like you've got to throw, it's like literally like, look at this. It's like this is the dart, and you've got to throw the dart but you've got to get it through the eye of the needle, right? It's not a bullseye. It's like this, it's like trying to get the perfect shot in basketball or something, right? It's like it's got to be perfectly aligned. Otherwise it's just going to like hit the sides. It's not going to go through. So it's like this thing about perfect timing, and it's here as well. So it's with the birds coming in, right? Because it's like here they come, and like it's almost like they have to be in the center. So you're waiting. So maybe it's like it is. I don't like shooting, right? So it's like, you know, like clay pigeon shooting or something. It's like it's getting it in your sights. It could be like a dream, right? Getting the dream in your sights. So like watching it come in and waiting till, kind of funny because you had that breathe through it, right? It's like you've got to. It's like strike while the iron's hot kind of thing. It's like there's gonna be this moment where it's like right in your view, right? It's like right in front of you, because it's here as well. You see all this alignment. So if it's traveling like horizontally here, then here it's traveling vertically, right? And it's like then it comes, because it's like this world card, right? So it's like the planets are in perfect alignment. This thing is flying past. And I want to say there's this moment where it goes through the eye of the needle, right? It's like the shot. It's like maybe like it's like Hamilton, you know, don't throw away my shot. It's like you've got one shot at this, Cancer, and it has to be, you have to fire at the perfect moment. I'm using that as a metaphor, obviously. I don't like guns, but it's like you've got to have perfect aim here. So then, I mean, you still have this thing here about like getting the alignment right, getting the coordinates right with this triangle. But before we talk about that, I want to say there's something here again about what does this say? So this says, because here you are at home, this is you at home. It was coming through with, you know, like the queen is in the parlor eating bread and honey, the king is in his counting house counting all his money. So you know that nursery rhyme, which again is making me think of like home and children. So it's like the queen is in the parlor eating bread and honey. But the funny thing is, in the underlying, you have the king, right? The king is in his counting house. So it's like you at home with your husband, you at home with your partner. Again, just flip it and reverse it if needs be. Or you at work with your business partner, right? The king and queen of earth are partnered. So whoever your partner is, you and your partner. And I want to say, thinking about money, because this is the king and queen of earth, right? So they're concerned with money, they're concerned with material wealth, they're concerned with things, right? These are the material king and queen. Because again, you've got this idea of like fortune, right? Like gold, and then the golden palace. It's like you at home in your beautiful home, kind of like counting your money, enjoying the milk and honey, enjoying the luxury, enjoying the good stuff is the way it's coming through. So maybe not even realizing that this thing is about to sweep through. You know, it's been here in this alignment. Maybe it's the universe has got this thing into perfect alignment. It could be something that you see. Again, I've got this, it was coming through strongly in Scorpio and Sagittarius's reading, this idea of kind of like watching something on the news and everybody watching it. So it was coming through like it was coming, I don't really want to say it again because I don't want to scare people, but it was kind of like something that was of global interest, because the world can be the internet, right? It can be something that affects everybody. So like a breaking news report that, you know, every station around the world is going to cover because it's such a big news story. So the world as well can talk about like the internet, like the World Wide Web, and especially with this like triangulation, it's like almost like the Bermuda Triangle, right? Or, you know, the satellites beaming it all around the world, and like maybe the world is the thing that's at the center of this triangle, or even like your world, like your whole world, like whatever you consider to be your world, like your home, your reality. But it's like it's got this like a 360 perspective on something. So yeah, it's kind of like it feels a bit unexpected. It feels a bit, now the tower moment isn't here. Again, like with Libra had this thing about like, you're not even aware of the tower moment, right? It's kind of like, the news hits and Libra's off the grid. Like Libra's, they've gone up a mountain and the Wi-Fi isn't working. So Libra completely missed the whole drama. Like they didn't even, because that was how Libra was being protected in their last reading. It was kind of like, the tower's hitting, but Libra's in a boat and they're just kind of sailing past and they don't even know it's happening. And like Libra's being protected in that way. And so like Scorpio felt like they were being heavily impacted by it. Like they were shocked. They were like rattled by whatever was happening. Sagittarius felt like they were celebrating it. So it came through a little bit like it's aliens, like aliens have been confirmed. It's breaking news. We've got footage of this alien. And like Scorpio was like, oh my God, what does this mean for me? Like this, my whole belief system's falling apart. Where Sagittarius was kind of like, yay, it's the aliens, let's celebrate, I've been waiting for this moment. So it's kind of like different people are having a different reaction to whatever's in the news. So the way it's coming through for you, and again, it's coming through with Capricorn energy. So I feel like maybe you have like a Cancer Sun, Capricorn Moon, or maybe this is like North Node, South Node, Lilith. I don't know. I feel like you've got this Capricorn energy that seems to be a part of your energy in a way. So like you're in your parlor eating bread and honey, right? Enjoying your wealth. And then the funny thing, I've only just noticed this now, is here come the birds, right? And the crow, to me, the crow is a messenger. The crows to me are always omens, right? It's like, so for example, my neighbor passed away, and I didn't know. But in the morning, the crows outside my house were going crazy. They were making such a racket, and I got up and I drew my curtains back, and they were flocking outside my window. They were like, and they don't. It was so. It's not their normal behavior, right? It was so weird that it felt like an omen to me, and I was like, I just know that my neighbours passed away. And then yeah, later in the day it was confirmed. So it's kind of like it's an omen, it's a sign, it's the messenger to let you know that something's happened or that something's happening, right? It's like, like here they come, here it is close up, like here it is on the news, right? And then here it is, and the energy is about to pass through your home. So whether it's kind of like, again, this idea of like the energy rolling out of the epicenter, it could be the idea of like media coverage, like news coverage. The thing happens, the event happens, and then it's like it's on social media and it's going viral, and then it's on the news channels, and then it's like beamed into your home. It's like the news spreads, and here it is in the moment that where it enters your world, your reality, your home. And with the Rainmaker, it feels like this is the other, right? It feels like, because I was kind of thinking, who are these for you? So for you, I want to say you are this energy you're in the bubble, you're going to survive this, but the Rainmaker could be this other. Like they do the rain dance, right? They bring the rain, they bring the drama, perhaps. They invite the emotions in. But because I'm seeing this as you up, it's like this, right? It's like you're up in the Golden Palace. Maybe you have a privileged life, right? You're not affected by the stuff that happens to the general population because maybe you live in like a gated community, or you have enough wealth or status or security that, whatever's sweeping through isn't going to affect you. It's like you're above it all because of some kind of privilege is the way it's coming through. But the Rainmaker's down the bottom. It is coming through like a flood. And again, it's a repeated message that keeps coming through. The idea of like the river bursting its banks or the canal flooding. It's like, okay, so your house is built. Your house looks great. Your house is strong, but what is this going to do to the foundation? So it's kind of like the flood. It's like maybe you're up a hill, right? Maybe your house isn't going to be affected by the flooding. And again, I don't like I'm not trying to scare anyone. And remember, normally things come through hypothetically, and a lot of the time I can just channel movies. So it might just be that there's a movie about a flood coming out, right? That I'm not aware of, but it is coming through this idea of like the flooding. So it's like, here comes the news, right? Here comes the news, here comes the warning to say the river's burst its banks, this area is going to flood. And you're like, I'm okay because my house is up the hill. But just be aware that like the lower, like the foundations could be damaged. Like say you're up a mountain, it's like some of the mud underneath could be swept away. So I want to say you're going to be okay, because it's like, especially if you've got like strong foundations, like solid foundations, solid roots, it's like your tower will continue to stand. I want to say you are protected, right? But it's like it's gonna come close, like that canal dream for me. It's like it's gonna come close. It's gonna be like me. It's gonna be on your driveway, but not quite through your front door, kind of thing, is the way it's coming through. So whatever it is, I don't know what it is. It doesn't have to be a flood. It doesn't have to be water. It could be, I don't know, some kind of protest. It could be like a protest that turns into a riot, right? And it's like right on your doorstep, but it goes past. It doesn't actually come onto your street. You know, so you get the news, you get the heads up, this is happening, don't leave your home. But it goes past, right? You're not actually affected by it, is the way it's coming through. But you are gonna be okay. I want to say the message is for you, Cancer, that you are gonna be okay. Because it's like you've done the drills, right? You've done the fire drills, you've done the safety checks, you are prepared because you have passage. So it's like you've already planned your escape route, perhaps. So if this, for example, is I'm going to give you two examples because I'm being shown two examples. For some of you, if this is like physically, like you know that you live in an area that has a likelihood of flooding, it's got a history of flooding, and maybe it hasn't flooded for 60 years, 70 years, but you know it's possible under certain circumstances. So when the siren goes off, you have your escape route planned, right? It's like you know where your exits are, right? You know how to get out of there. So it's like you know which exit you're going to use. You've got your emergency bags packed. You've got a list of contact phone numbers so you can find somewhere to stay. You've got you know your car's ready. If you've not got a car, it's like you know who you're carpooling with if there's an emergency. You know which exit you're going to take, you know which back road you're going to take, because for Libra it's coming through with back passage. It's like you're taking the back way out, right? So it's kind of like, don't take the main road, it's going to be packed. We're going to take that mountain road because we know it's going to, like, if we do it in the right timing, we can get out there. So that's one scenario. But others of you, it's like it's an emotional moment. So for some of you, say for example, this is like, I know that I knew I was going to have to leave my husband, right? It could be that I know I'm going to have to leave my home. And I know I'm going to have to do it like in the middle of the night, right? It's like, I've got my plan. I know that if it's confirmed that he's cheating on me, I get the kids, I go to my mum's, you know, I take this with me, I take that with me, I take this with me, because maybe he's not going to react very well, right? So it's like you've got your escape plan. So that's just two examples. It doesn't have to be either of those things for you. It could be a million different ways that this plays out, but I want to say you are prepared, right? You know the route that you're going to take, because it also says the age of light. You've been training for this for lifetimes. So it's like, I don't know, it's like GPS or something. Like, you know, like when this happens, when it all comes into alignment, you will know exactly what to do, and you have energetic protection. So it could be putting up your energetic boundaries, right? Maybe this is even just saying, look, this is what's acceptable, this is not acceptable. If you cross this line, this is what I'm going to do, right? Boundaries. And I want to say you definitely have people who can help you. I'm just going to show you this. You always have this. Like, you always have this. Like, I love this. The Council of Light, Sisterhood of... Like, look at this energy. It's like you have people around you. So for some of you, maybe you're part of like a witches circle. Maybe this is like literally your sisters, right? Maybe this is a group of friends, like your sisterhood. You always come through with this like this group of women energy, like group of friends, group of sisters, like it doesn't even have to be female, but it feels like energetically female. Like your support group, like your support group is here for you, right? You just have to kind of like make the call or something like that, because it's like alchemy, magic, sisterhood of the road, beauty and devotion, priestess, mystic, teacher, divine orchestration, helpers in the subtle realm. So it could even be, you know, your spirit team, you know, your ancestors, your guides who are on the other side. It's like they've got it all planned out for you. They've got the strategy. Here's that triangle again. It's like they've got everything. But it's making me think of like again, because you've got a little bit of Libra popping up again with this kind of like triangulating. So maybe one of your ancestors is a Libra. Libra had this thing for a while where it's like, you're the kitten sitting pretty. It's like, don't move. It was like a kitten surrounded by dominoes, and the way it was coming through was like, you just have to sit there and wait, because the universe is setting something up for you, but they're setting it up like dominoes all around you. And if you move too soon, you're going to mess it up. You're going to knock them down too soon. And then like the universe is going to have to like bring everything back into, it's like, just sit still and let the universe do its work kind of thing. And so it's making me think of that. It's like, just sit still. Everything's being coordinated around you. You've got this coordination energy. Oh, and cool, look underneath that as well. Boundaries. Where do you need to establish better boundaries? So like, where do you need to push back? Again, it can be sometimes friends take advantage kind of thing. So this circle energy keeps on coming up repeated. Let me just show you these 3 cards just to show you this idea of like energetic protection, like the circle. So it could be that you do magic, right? So you're doing like it's like you're drawing a circle on the ground, or maybe you're doing like a salt circle. Gemini had this thing about the need to like energetically breathe in good energy and breathe out bad energy. So it's almost like you're doing something very, very similar, right? And then it's like the energy around you, the space around you that's safe can grow bigger. It's like it extends out, is the way it's coming through. So your personal, maybe it's like the way you protect yourself energetically, but you're able to extend that to your home and extend it to your community and extend it on a bigger scale. Like you can push back the darkness, something like this, because of the magic you have or the energy you do. And even if you don't, and you've been trained for this for lifetime, so it's not even like it's like just something you've been doing recently. It's like, this is ancestral, right? This is ancestral wisdom that you're tapping into right now. It's nature. I was getting this thing from me in my own reading about, because it's been coming through this like Mary energy as well. It's almost like Eve, right? It's like you, and like this thing about going back to Africa as well, like going back to like where humanity came from, like going back to your roots kind of thing. It's like there's this, like ancestral version of myself. It's like a past life ancestral version of me that's more connected to the land and more connected to like it's almost like the rhythm that the world makes is the way it's coming through. It's interesting. So I wonder if that's something perhaps that you're vibing with as well. It's kind of like ancient woman goddess energy. It's like rising, right? It's like that energy is rising within us, in all of us, right? No matter how you identify kind of externally. So then again, it could be the idea of releasing something, the idea of like saying, right, this is done, this is ended. Again, it doesn't have to be a marriage. It could be a business partnership, but it's something where I want to say there was like finances shared, or like a home, because it's coming through with home as well, right? It's like it could be that you're not letting somebody in your home anymore, but this always looks to me like somebody kind of like doing a ritual to cleanse energy. So you know, like sometimes when people go through a relationship breakup, they kind of like burn the love letters, they burn the pictures. I don't recommend doing this. I kind of think there's beauty in the history, but if that's what you need to do to cleanse yourself of some energy, then that's what you need to do. It can be something that's healing for people. Everybody needs to just do what they need to do, right? But this is like, it's showing me like something symbolic, something that's a ritual to release yourself of a past situation as you move forward into the new. And there is a need to be brave as you move forward, as you move through this, as you move forward through this passage, through this portal. You do need to be brave, because it says the courageous peony, multifaceted, unique nature, let yourself be seen. So again, I feel like if you've been hiding, it's like if you've been hiding in your house, maybe you've been putting a show on behind closed doors, because the next 2 cards is like this, right? Oh, hang on. Let me just say here, like before I move forward. So this idea of like being courageous, I did get that message. So it's words. I had the message of just breathe through it, right? Just if you're feeling anxious, if you're feeling scared, whatever this is for you, as this new phase happens, just remember your breath work, whatever it is that brings you. Maybe you do yoga, maybe you listen to like trance music, whatever brings you back into this baseline state of peace and tranquility, like whatever gets you there, right? Can you see your face in both of these? Whatever makes you, whatever brings you peace, do those rituals, do that work. And again, it's something about, again, like maybe do go and watch Gemini's reading if you're on the cusp, because there was this idea of kind of like, okay, I'll share it with you. It's like, it was a meditation idea that came to me. It was like a visual that I was shown as I was kind of like, um, connected to this flood dream, right? Because if your house floods, the water's not healthy, right? It's not like everything's clean. It's carrying like dirt from the street and chemicals and all sorts of horrible stuff in it. So a lot of the time, if it does get into your house, you kind of like have to throw things out and this kind of stuff. So it was like when you're cleaning something, if you're mopping up water, you use a big sponge and you wring it out and you dip it into clean water and then you like wring it out again. So to clean your sponge, you have to keep repeatedly dipping it in clean water, absorbing the clean to rinse out the bad, right? Like it's a repeated process. It's kind of like washing your hair or something as well, right? Or wringing clothes, like you're wringing out clothes, you like put it in the clean water, wring it out, get some more clean water, dip it again, wring it out, and it gets more and more clean. And so I was being shown this breath work. So if you do breath work, it's like breathe into the count of 8, breathe out to the count of 8. And it's like every time you breathe out, compress your body as though your body's a sponge. So like breathe out and like squeeze all the air out and like squeeze all the bad energy out. And then take a moment before you breathe in again, like have a split second to visualize like clean, fresh, like running mountain spring water that's full of like healthy vitamins, like minerals, healthy minerals. It's like cleansing, it's fresh, the sunlight's dancing on the surface, and like imagine absorbing that clean fresh energy, and then breathe out and wring out the bad again, and then breathe in the good, wring out the bad. So I don't know if this is like breath work that you want to do this month. It might help you. But like I say, it seems to be maybe revealing this superstar within, right? But this it's kind of like if you've been doing something privately, it's like doing it publicly. Because with play, it says play, have fun, celebrate, don't be so serious. And then she kind of looks like Dita Von Teese or something, right? She's kind of like doing like a strip tease, but it's in the home, right? It's behind closed doors. So the back of my hand's burning again. So it's kind of like if you've been dancing, maybe you've been learning a TikTok video, right? You've been learning this dance, but you've been doing it in front of the mirror at home. Nobody's seen it yet. It's like, but you're going to make it public, but you have to take a big deep breath before you do it. Or like you are going to go on stage and give a performance, right? You are going to be the lead singer or something, but before you, like, this thing that you've been doing privately, and you've been perfecting behind closed doors, it's like you have to take a deep breath before you do it publicly. It's the way it's kind of coming through. Or it could even just be you've been taking like pole dancing lessons secretly to surprise your husband, and it's like then you do it, but you're doing it behind closed doors. Like it's not, you don't necessarily have to do it in front of a lot of people. But again, there's something here with like fetch and mirror, where it feels like you're encountering this, right? You're exploring, you are exploring, you're going forward in your journey, but then you encounter this other, and you're projecting, I want to say her, and you're projecting onto her, right? You're projecting, she's this, she's that, she's everything I want to be, or she's a horrible person, whatever it is, but you're projecting onto her. But you don't really see her. What you're seeing is a projection of yourself, right? It's something that you've it's something about you that you're accusing someone else of, or you're reading it as their energy when actually it's your own energy. So if it's that thing of like Roxy Hart, and I can't remember her name in it, like Dita Von Teese's character, not Dita Von Teese, sorry, what's the other one called? It's because of that one. What's her name? It's Catherine Zeta-Jones. It's Zeta and Dita is where my brain's getting mixed up. Catherine Zeta-Jones, and now I want to call her Catherine Dita-Jones. Catherine Zeta-Jones. It's like you're looking at her and thinking, she's so sexy, and like maybe projecting, you know, like how Roxy Hart kind of like projects herself onto the stage in that role. So there's something about that where it's like you're not really seeing this other person, you're seeing something that you want to be or something that you don't want to be. It's like I'm not that, she's that, but it is something in you. It's the way it's coming through. It's like she's holding up a mirror she's holding up a mirror for you to see something in yourself. So it could even be something like it feels like she's so sexy, but she's saying, no, you're so, you know, it's something. It's funny again because Capricorn had this thing that said it was like uh, I shine only with the light you gave me, right? It's kind of like that Little Star song by Khalees. There's nothing special about me, I'm just a little star. If it seems like I'm shining, it's probably a reflection of something you already are, right? But it's like, no, you're a star too, is the way it's coming through. So then again, this idea of like the crows traveling through, it's like they hit your house and then they go, it's like they go through, right? They go through and then they're off on the way. So you're not actually being affected by, this is what I'm saying. It's like you're not actually going to be affected by the crows, even though you may be seeing them up close, and that might be startling, right? It might be startling to see, to get a glimpse of this energy so close to you, but it's not a threat to you. In fact, I want to say it is something that's like protecting you in some sort of way, because it's kind of like it like passes straight through, right? It's like you're oh, it passes behind you. Do you see? It's like you're not actually, maybe it's like hold up the mirror. You know, it's like if someone casts a spell on you, it's like hold up the mirror and it like bounces back on them, something like that. But again, I do see it's like disguise, like you're disguising yourself as one of them. You're disguising yourself as one of them. It's kind of like in you know, in Shaun of the Dead. I love Shaun of the Dead. I've watched it so many times and I still think it's like it gets funnier every time. Where it's like they have to walk through the horde of zombies, but to do so they have to pretend to be a zombie. It's like you're pretending to be a zombie, right? To so that they pass by you. It's like you're pretending to be a witch so that the witches leave you alone. So it's something like that. I don't know. But again, it's like home. You're like your home's your home's fine. Your home's protected because of the spiritual work you're doing, right? It's like you protect yourself first, and then you extend it to the entire home, your entire family, everyone you care about. Like everybody is protected by your playful dream energy. You can see it's like almost here. It's like the protective bubble. You form that protective bubble around you and your friends. So it could even be like, okay, guys, if the area floods, like this is like your local friends in your local area, if the area floods, you all come to me, like come up the back way, like come through the woods, right? Don't take the main road, come through the back way to my house and come under my protection. You know, bring your kids. And then maybe like making it fun as well, like, you know, you know, we've got board games, we can hole up. Maybe it is something like you know, if lockdown happens again, if we see the warning signs, like if we get the news, if we see the warning signs that another lockdown's about to happen, you will come to my house. We've got supplies, we've got board games, I've stocked up on toilet roll, right? I've got dry foods. Bring the kids. We're going to hole up here. Like, even if we're here for like 2 years, we're prepared. Or the whole family, all my sisters, everybody's going to come here because this is where. Which is funny because Gemini had this thing in their reading that was like they were receiving the call to go back home, right? They were receiving, like, hearing the bell to assemble together, and it's like you perhaps are the place, you're in the place where everybody's assembling. And it says as well with Field of Dreams, which in my reading, like I say, it had this thread that ran through. I had 2 cards about dreams. I had Manifesting Dreams and Field of Dreams, and this thread ran through both of the dreams, whatever that means. And that was my own personal reading. So and then it says birthing a new age, birthing new creations, dreaming a new world into being. So like I say, in my reading, and I'm Libra, so again, maybe there's a Libra or an aspect of a chart where this is happening for you. So in my reading, I was receiving all the dreams. It was almost like, like the owls in Harry Potter were bringing all the dreams and wishes to me. Um, with these orbs, it was like the orbs were coming, and like the orbs were like the dreams, and I was collecting the dreams, but I was organizing them in my own personal reading, and I was kind of um, like I was reorganizing the dreams is the way it was coming through, and then I was taking them one by one and lifting them up to I mean, it could be like Gemini, because there was this kind of like flying monkey, and it was like I was giving the dreams to the flying monkey. It said dream thief, but I don't think it was a thief. It actually was coming through as the crow. It's like like openly and freely giving these dreams to the crow, and the crow was taking them to, it's like to you, right? Because it's like I was on one end of this, it's like a telephone wire, right? I was on one end of this thread, and then there was this other energy on the other end of the thread, and it passed through the field of dreams. So it's like the crow seems to be the messenger between the 2 points. It doesn't really make a lot of sense to me at the moment, but maybe it will in September. It's like the crow is going back on two with everybody's dreams, right? And then it's like dreaming a new world into being. It's like collecting everybody's collective dreams, right? Everybody's collective wishes of the future, dreams of what could be, ideas, like feeding them through like beads on a piece of string, like one by one we'll make these dreams come true, we'll make these dreams happen, right? But it's like had to be one at a time. The messenger, the bird, the owl could only take one at a time. But collectively, because it's the field of dreams, collectively, these dreams are going to happen. So then the strange thing is it ends with sacrifice and the bull. It's almost like can you see this little tiny figure down here? And because you're coming through this like magic energy, I can't quite tell if it's like you calling this energy in, like here it comes, I roll like thunder when I come to town, right? Like the flood rolls in or the storm rolls in, sacrifice and the bull. When I first saw the word sacrifice, it was talking to me about the things you sacrificed, the dreams you sacrificed to build a home, the dreams you sacrificed to look after your family, right? And I clarified this, it's come through the Ace of Swords, which is like truth, which again, you start with the blade, right? It's like seeing this, maybe you see the sacrifice, like you see the sacrifice you've made clearly. It's like you've took the rose tinted glasses off, and you're counting. It's like you're counting the sacrifices, you're counting the lost dreams, right? Or again, because the blade is coming through the sword, the blade is coming through like the needle, which is pulling the thread, right? It's like the needle is like, it's just the tool to be able to thread the beads onto the string, and the beads being the dreams, right? It's like you need the precision tool to be able to collect all these dreams because of the sacrifice. Maybe it's like the sacrifice is being seen, but it's almost coming through as well, like at the end of talking about like the Cornetto trilogy and all that, at World's End where the aliens come in and he sends them packing. It could be something like that. It's like, no, this is, where did that card go? Like, no, Earth is protected. Earth is protected by my energy, by my high vibrational dreams. Like almost like pushing back the devil energy, or pushing back the concept of, I don't know. Like I say, angel of darkness is here. Angel of night. She's here protect. Oh my god, look. Oh my god. Like with the devil as well. 6 of Wands, success, and the Emperor. There's something, this is again the thread. The thread is almost like the dreams Okay, we're getting a whole new story coming through here. So the angel of night is protecting. It's like backed by the devil. Because the angel of night, she can transverse that devil energy safely, right? She's protects you from the devil, basically. But here's the piece of string, right? 10 of Pentacles is the piece of string. It's almost like the 10 beads on the thread, but the thread's broken. Can you see? I don't know if you can see this. The thread's broken on this one. And the crow's holding the thread. Is she about to join the two threads together? I think she's about to join. I don't think it's that the devil has snapped. The devil's got this thread as well. I'm just trying to work this out. It's like she's gonna... Okay, so the lady in the 10 of Pentacles card looks to me like she's joining a thread of connection between... So it's like making contact, making contact. It's kind of like, you know, like the fates, how the fates weave. They have like a thread of life for everybody, and then they weave the threads together. It's like the connection's about to be made between the angel de la nuit and the devil. Like she's about to connect these two wires. Kind of like telephone wires, right? Making the connection. Somebody had the connection is made. I can't remember who it was. But in doing so, when that thread is made between the devil, and I want to say the devil's not bad, actually. Success and the Emperor. It's like this connection is going to be successful because in making this connection, this specific thread, this connection needs to be made under very, very specific circumstances. It's going to allow people to thread, because at the moment, like with the 10 of Pentacles, the way I'm seeing it is like 10 beads or 10 coins. Oh my God, I just saw my own cards as well. It's like everybody's dreams are just on the floor, right? Everybody's dreams are on the ground. Like nobody's dreams are being realized until the needle, right, draws this thread together by the crow, right? The crow is holding this thread. The crow's bringing, maybe it's two people meeting at your house, right? The thread is, the connection is being made at your house, because it's like, maybe it's not passing through. Maybe it's not passing through. Maybe it's coming through from two directions and meeting in the middle. But it's like, you need it. You need the connection to be made, because at the moment, all the beads are on the floor, and you need to be able to put the dreams back on the thread, right? And have all the 10 pentacles on the thread. And that's going to be successful. Emperor, devil. Okay, I don't know. I'm not getting any more from that in your reading. I wonder what's going to come through. Who have I got next? Leo. The apple and the arrow was on the underlying of my own deck. Now, the apple is... The devil hands you the apple, right? And again, they're not bad. It's like they're not bad. The crow energy is not bad. It's not like the devil... It's not like the devil's evil, is the way I'm reading it energetically. If it means something else to you, take it as it resonates for you personally. The way that I'm reading the energy is like the devil offers you an apple because it's symbolic of knowledge, right? Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden were stupid idiots. They were like Barbie and Ken before they realized, you know, like they were happy little idiots, right, basically. But like she took the apple, she took the Birkenstock, and she went and she discovered about the real world, right? And she grew, and she grew knowledge, she gained knowledge, and she gained autonomy at the end of the Barbie movie. I'm sorry if you've not watched it yet. It's a big movie. A lot of people have seen it, okay? Like if you like, listen, it's out there. It's already out there. So Barbie takes the Birkenstock, which is the apple. I didn't know that the Barbie movie was like an Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden reference until now, but here we are. So yeah, and then at the end, she kind of self-actualizes. She's like, I gained knowledge through this experience. It was hard, but now I know what I want, right? Like, and now I know what my purpose is. So the devil's actually doing you a favor in a way. It's like the devil is... The devil's weird Barbie, right? She got played with too hard. she's like, come on, Barbie, pick the Birkenstock. Hey, take it. I know it feels unnatural. Just take it. The arrows coming through like threading the needle, right? But it's also like, you know, like the idea of like Robin Hood shooting the arrow on the top of the guy's head, right? It's like perfect aim. Perfect aim. At the devil's apple. Perfect aim at the tempting offer. But it's got a thread connected. It's like the arrow's the needle, it's got the thread connected. It's like throwing a dart with a piece of string attached. So that a connection can be made, which is going to make everybody's dreams successful. God, this is getting... I just want to dive deeper. The only thing I've got left to say is that in my own personal reading, it had different cards, you know, this kind of like the idea of kind of the thread. It may not even be for me. It may be something collective. But it was kind of like the thread was multicolored. The thread was coming through like... It was coming through like music notes. So it was... I'm going to show you this card now, the rainbow. So it looks like here's that crow, right? It's like on closer inspection, perhaps. And if you focus more on this energy, if you focus more on the thread, you can actually see that it's like it's chords, it's music chords. If you focus more closely on the thread, you'll see, is it like a secret message, but it's music chords? Do you know, like it's like decoding. I think like Lana Del Rey and Taylor Swift have done this where, you know, when they release a record, when they release an album, they publish the lyrics in the, you know, like if you get a CD, I don't know if people still have CDs, but, you know, you get the leaflet out of the CD and open it up and you'd have the lyrics. But like some would be in bold. And if you got all the letters that were in bold and put them in order, it would spell something out. It's like that, or like in the Goonies where he's like, it's music notes, and he has to play the right notes on the piano. It's like if you look closely at the thread, it's actually music. It's actually music, and that's why that makes sense why I got it's for Gemini. I feel like I'm decoding a message, like I'm decoding a massive download through the different readings. Music is the language of us all. Music is the language of us all. So it could be something about like people who speak a different language, but they can connect through music. Like you might not know the words, but you know how the music makes you feel. Like the music conveys emotion better than words can, something like that. Okay. In which case I'm going to get you a song. So I don't know. What is it? What is it for Cancer? Okay, just make it make sense. Make it make sense. Billie Jean by Eden. Again, I wonder if someone's been accused of something they've not done. So it's Billie Jean by Michael Jackson. It's the Eden cover. Oh, I don't know. Because I read this song two ways. You can read it as though he's telling the truth, but there's like one line that's like a giveaway. Right, so it says, she was more like a beauty queen from a movie scene, right? It's like the Catherine Zeta-Jones. I said, don't mind, but what do you mean? I am the one who will dance on the floor in the round. She said, I am the one who will dance on the floor in the round. She told me her name was Billie Jean as she caused a scene. Then every head turned with eyes that dreamed of being the one who will dance on the floor in the round. People always told me, be careful of what you do and don't go around breaking young girls' hearts. And mother always told me, be careful of who you love and be careful of what you do because the lie becomes the truth. It's like hearsay, it's like gossip. Which is funny because I was making... I'm vegetarian, but I was making like vegetarian bacon. It was like streaky bacon. And I chopped it in half before I put it in the pan and it looked like I was frying tongs. And it was giving me, is this a message about gossip for Cancer? Or like slander, lies? Billie Jean is not my lover. She's just a girl who claims that I'm the one, but the kid is not my son. So it sounds like, to me, the way I read it is this guy wasn't careful, right? People told him to be careful about and not go around breaking young girls' hearts, but he did, right? He was a player, and then he ran into a girl who maybe he did get someone pregnant, but he says the lie becomes the truth. But it's kind of like there's no smoke without fire, right? So it's kind of like someone saying someone got them pregnant, and maybe he did, maybe he didn't. But you know, even if he didn't get this person, even if he's not the father, he still put himself into compromising positions that where, you know, people believe the lie, you know? He didn't listen to the warnings. She told my baby we'd dance till 3, and then she looked at me, then showed a photo with my baby, cried his eyes were like mine. There you go. His eyes were like mine. Because he did dance with her. 40 days and 40 nights the law was on her side, but who can stand when she's in demand? Her schemes and plans. Billie Jean is not my lover, she's just a girl who claims that I'm the one. But it says, she came and stood right by me, just the smell of her sweet perfume. This happened much too soon. She called me to her room. But did he go to the room or did he not go to the room? It's like a big, massive grey area, right? And it goes back to what I was saying at the beginning of the reading, where it's like, don't project guilt onto someone until you've got the facts. But also, it's like gossip, right? It's like, I don't know. I don't know the full story behind that song, but it always makes me think, well, he was clearly putting himself into compromising positions, right? Which isn't fair. Like if he really didn't sleep with her, it's not fair to say, you know, I don't know. It's such a complicated song, isn't it? And again, the idea of like for 40 days and 40 nights, the law was on her side. Again, that idea of like the court case. I keep mentioning these court cases. So it was funny the way it came through because there was a major court case going on in the UK. And I feel like I was definitely picking up on that, but just because it's one thing doesn't mean it's not another thing. So I have for a while been getting the idea of like family court, you know, like divorce court, divorce lawyers, or something like that, like a trial, right? Anyway, I'm gonna go because I think that's as much as I can get from this reading, but my curiosity is piqued. Take care of yourselves. If you can't be good, be careful. I've been saying that a lot recently. And again, don't jump to conclusions. Don't jump to conclusions. Trust your instincts, but don't jump to conclusions. And just work on the positive energy. Work on protecting yourself, right? Protecting your friends, protecting your loved one, protecting your home. Putting good energy, like raising your vibration, putting good energy out into the world, because you don't want to do anything like negative, like curses and things. It does just bounce back at you, like that kind of like slander, curses. It's low vibrational. It's just more of a reflection of the person than it is about the person that it's being projected on. Like the universe keeps count, right? The universe keeps score. Anyway, yeah, just keep vibe high, breathe through it, vibe high. Whatever's going on for you, Cancer, you're gonna be okay. Just it's gonna be all right. Take care. I will see you again soon. Bye, friends. Hey, Cancer. So my window's open, so I'm gonna be talking a bit more quietly. So I've got this feeling like I just can't seem to shake it. I keep on thinking about your reading, and it feels like you like the devil, right? It's like the crow and the devil. It's like don't shoot the messenger or something like that. So the way I'm seeing it is you thought something was the devil. You thought something was because it was like you were taking aim at the apple, right? And the apple's kind of what the devil holds. So it's like you were about to shoot, right? You were waiting for the devil, you got it in your sights, and it was like you're a hitman and you were about to take the shot. But it's like when you get the devil in your sights and you see it close up, It's like you recognize it as a friend is the way it's coming through. It's like, sorry, my kid just came in to tell me about yogurt. Sorry, yeah. So it's like you get the devil in your sights, or what you think of as the devil. So like your enemy. It's like you get your enemy in your sights, but then you see it close up, and it's like you have this moment of recognition. You know, with the fetch and the mirror, it's almost like you're about to take the shot, but the person that you're shooting is yourself, right? Because the idea of like the mirror, it's like you're taking aim at yourself. So it's almost like when you're about to, it's like you're about to take your shot. I don't know if you're about to like call someone out or something. When you see the devil, it, whoever that is for you, it feels like a person. It's like you see some, it's like you see yourself in them, or there's something about them that reminds you of yourself. It's almost like encountering your own shadow. You're not like Peter Pan in his shadow. It's like coming face to face. It's almost like a doppelganger. It's like this energy that you've been hunting down, and you're about to it's like the perfect moment to fire. It's like, I don't know, you look into their eyes and you see yourself, right? You see yourself reflected in their eyes, or you see, and it's like, if I hurt that thing, I'm hurting myself, is the way it's coming through. And so the way I'm seeing it is like the devil is your friend. So the devil card in that deck that I was using, kind of like the woman in the like scantily clad, and she's very skinny. If you read the description of that card, she says, you put the chains on yourself. You know, I don't control you. I'm not your enemy. You came to me and you put the chains on yourself. Right? So it's like, she's showing you something. She's showing you something. So again, it's almost like you mistook the messenger to be the devil, but the messenger was just your own shadow. It's like you're firing at yourself, is the way it's coming through. You're firing at your own reflection. So I just needed to, like, I needed to come back in and say it. And then it's really confirmed for me, because as I was putting my cards away, sorry, the wind's blowing my door open. As I was putting my cards away, I kind of asked my own deck. I was like, I need to see it. I need to see that energy clearly, right? What is the devil? And it says the guardian and starman. So again, it's like this collective energy where we're mistaking something, because it's like the angel Delanui, right? It's like the angel Delanui is an angel, but she works with the darkness. She guides you through, she protects you as you go through dark phases. So it's almost like, because she carries the dark energy, right? Because she's like, if she's the sponge, right, she's absorbed all this dark energy. You're reading her as being dark, when actually she's not. She's a friend, she's a protectress. So it's come through with the guardian and starman. It's like this, the star energy is being shrouded or camouflaged, or yeah, it's like the energy of the star, right? Like this pure white creation energy is being shrouded by almost like this storm of crows, right? This black energy, in order to disguise it as it passes through the dangerous territory or the dark territory. It's like the light is hidden by the dark because it's being protected. So guardian and starman, it's not. So you're looking at it like it's bad, right? You're looking at it and you're just seeing the black, like the crow energy, but it's just a disguise. So just be careful, Cancer. Like, don't mistake for a friend for an enemy. I think you're going to see them. It's like almost like at the last second, as you're about to take the shot, you recognize that this is a friend. Okay, so interesting. Take care. I'll see you again soon. Bye.